T.Gray and MK, you are now cleared for flight school takeoff.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Let's go ahead and jump into our Vibe Rides training. There's a lot of questions going on out there, and what we want to do is just try to answer some of them today so that the folks in Florida who are recruiting drivers and riders can effectively do so. All right, so the first thing is, where is Vibe Rides today? Vibe Rides is in Florida, specifically Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, Orlando, and of course, surrounding, right? And so that means that that's the only place it is. It's not any place else. So no one else should be recruiting drivers. No drivers from other places should not be enrolling as drivers right now, okay? We want to focus on Florida at this moment. Now, what we're going to do is in the first quarter of next year, right, with our Houston Accelerate event, that's when we're going to launch Vibe Rides in our second market, which is Texas. And that's going to be Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, and Austin at that time. So should we be signing up drivers in Texas now? No. Okay? No. We should not be doing that. We should be waiting until we give you guys the go-ahead and the green light. We know everybody's excited and people tend to jump the gun, but I want to make sure that people, just kind of stay in line. Okay. Now, someone says, does Fort Lauderdale mean Broward County? Does Miami mean Miami-Dade County? There's a lot of smaller cities in those markets. And what's going to happen is the reason why we didn't do the smaller cities is we want to be concentrated where we can get a concentration of drivers and riders. The more we spread it out, the less effective it's going to be in the beginning. So what we want you guys to do is to work with us and help us concentrate it, help us build it up to critical mass in these cities, and then we can expand outwards, okay? I know everybody wants it to be everywhere all at once, but that would be a really undisciplined approach for us, and it would actually cause us to fail. And you know what? We all want to win together, right? That's what we do. So let's focus. Just remember, just stay in step with the company because we've got a really clear strategy. I know you're excited. We know you're excited, but just stay with us and stay close to us, and we're gonna get this right together. Okay. So now, in terms of the opportunity, there are 3 ways to Vibe. Those 3 ways are: a person can be a rider, right? They don't have to do anything but download the Rider app and start using Vibe. And by the way, let's give you an update. The Rider app has been approved by both Apple and Google. We have it tucked away right now because we want to get the drivers in place first. We don't want to have frustrated riders who are looking for a ride and there's no drivers. And we are almost at the point where we're about to approve our first wave of drivers. That should happen hopefully the early part of this week coming up. Okay, so I know some of you as drivers have submitted your information. You've gone through the process and you're just waiting to hear back from us. You will hear back from us within the next few days. Okay, now that leads to the second way that a person can participate, which is to drive, right? And to drive, and we'll talk about the details of drive and overdrive in a second. The third way of participating is overdrive, which is to more than just drive. It's to actually now start to build your own fleet and recruit other drivers and recruit passengers and get paid when they drive and when they ride. Okay, so that's the exciting part about Vibe. Now, here's what makes Vibe special. What makes Vibe special is that we're taking rideshare to another level, to a next generation. You see, with traditional rideshare companies, what they've done is they've made an opportunity for a person to be self-employed, to work for themselves, right? To earn money when they drive. However, that is not a key to wealth. You can't become wealthy in the self-employed quadrant. To become wealthy, you've got to become a business owner. And so what we're doing is we're giving in addition to all of our ambassadors, we're giving rideshare drivers the opportunity to become business owners and to literally build their own rideshare company, their own fleet, and their own rider base within our Vibe Rides company, right? So we call this concept R3 because there's 3 ways to earn. And that means you can earn when you're driving, that's the normal way, but you can also earn when other people drive, and you can earn when customers ride. This hasn't been done before, and this is truly exciting. Now, how much do drivers make? And by the way, this is how I'm answering the questions. I'm just kind of going through, I've received some questions. I'm not saying, here's the question, here's the answer. I'm just gonna give you guys the information, and this is how we're answering the question. Okay, so how much do drivers make? Drivers earn up to 75% of the distance and time charges. Now, how do they get to 75%? That's after their first 50 rides. So once you complete 50 rides in a month, then you start earning 75%. Before that, the drivers earn 70%, okay? Now, it's very important that people understand what part of the charges the driver earns 75% of. And I think sometimes there's some frustration with other rideshare companies because they're not upfront and they're not transparent. But we're going to be very upfront and transparent with you. You're earning 75% of the distance and time charges, not the Vibe ride fee per ride, not tolls, taxes, etc. Because those things are required for company profitability, the government, the tolls, the airports, whatever those, and so we can't necessarily share those, right? So it would not make sense to take the total amount and see if that's 75% of that, because the total amount includes these things, right? So it's 75% of the distance and time charges after the first 50 rides. One of the questions people are asking, and yes, every month it resets, right? It's every month because we want to, and it's an incentive to keep drivers driving, right? Now, one of the questions people have been asking is, well, okay, well then what are the rates, right? And our rates are slightly less than Uber and Lyft, right? These are Florida rates. Now the rates will vary per market, right? So that's why that's kind of an interesting question. People say, well, what do we get paid per mile? Well, it's going to be different depending on what market you're driving in, because the rates have to be set based on what's appropriate for that market. So these are the rates for Florida. It's, you know, and it also the rate varies by the type of car or the car class. So if you're driving in the basic class, that's, you know, the miles in Florida, it's 91 cents a mile. But if you're driving in the luxury class, it's $2.29 a mile. You know, if you're driving in the basic class, it's 19 cents a minute. If you're driving in XL, it's 29 cents a minute. So you can see that it varies, okay? All right, and it's gonna vary by city. Now, here's the next thing. The outside of the 70 to 75% that goes to the driver, the part that's really exciting is that we're taking another 12.5% and putting it into what we call the drive share. Okay, this is 12.5% of the miles and minutes going into the drive share. And what that means is that's what's making it possible for Boomerang ambassadors and for drivers who select the Overdrive program to override other drivers, override riders, to get paid when they ride, to get paid when they drive, and also for there to be a 7-level payment of commissions to the people above the person who got the customer. Now we'll show you guys exactly how that works. This is crazy. Like, we show this to people, they're just losing their minds over the fact that we're doing this. And I gotta show you guys exactly how this works. Brace yourselves, okay? So I know it's Saturday morning. We're gonna mess up your whole day. Here we go. All right, so every time there's a ride, there are 5 payouts, okay? 5 payouts. So in this case, let's say this driver actually did a long trip and the miles and minutes was $100. And we just used 100 because it gives us an opportunity to use round numbers, okay? Now, here's who gets paid. First person to get paid is the driver. The driver in this case, let's say they haven't done 50 rides yet. So they make 70%, which is $70 in this case. Okay. Now, here's where it gets really cool, because some other rideshare companies, what they do is they say, okay, if you recruit another driver and they complete X amount of drives in a month, then you'll get a one-time of $75, right? But just once. Here's what we do. We said, you know what? If you recruited the driver from their very first drive, you earn, if you're the person who brought the driver in, you earn 3.125% of the miles in the minutes. Okay, so in this particular case, you earn $3. That's a direct bonus. Okay, that's a direct bonus. Just like with the travel savings bonus, the person who got the customer gets the direct bonus. In this particular case, the person who got the driver gets the direct bonus. And then we take another 3.125%, and that gets paid at our unilevel to the people above the person who recruited the driver. Now, what that means is that you have the opportunity to get paid not only on the drivers that you recruit, but you also get paid on the drivers that your team recruits. Folks, I hope you're getting that. It's crazy exciting, okay? Now, there was also a rider in the car. There was also a passenger in the car. Now, of course, the rider doesn't get anything, but the person who recruited the rider earns 3.125% as a direct bonus every time that rider uses Vibe Rides. So cool, right? So in this particular case, this $100 fare, the person who put the rider in the car made $3, okay? Now, another 3.125%, or in this case, $3, is going into the unilevel to pay the 7 levels above. So what does that mean? It means that not only do you have the opportunity to get paid on the riders that you recruit, but you also have the opportunity to get paid on all the riders that your team recruits. And this counts for people who are in Ibüümerang. This counts for the Vibe Overdrive ambassadors, which, by the way, they are in Ibüümerang. It's an Ibüümerang operated program. Ibüümerang is the marketing arm for Vibe Rides. They are 2 separate companies, but Ibüümerang is doing marketing for Vibe Rides. Okay, so I want everybody to understand that. That's pretty jazzy, right? I see people like posting up like crazy amounts of cars and stuff in the group here. That's what I'm talking about, guys. And so these numbers can get really exciting because you think about how many drives and think about how many rides. And we have an example in the presentation. And we're going to do a recorded presentation for you guys very, very soon, probably the next few days. Okay, so how do you go about, somebody said, wow, I finally get it. Yes, thank you. Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, now somebody said, is the rider app ready? I covered that one already. It's ready, but it's hidden, right? Because we need the, okay. Anyway, so now, Boomerang widget. This is how we get drivers. This is how we get riders, right? So we have the Boomerang concept in Ibüümerang, where you send out a code that's attached to you to a person, and that person can now become an Ibüümerang customer. You'll notice in the new Boomerang widget, it has a drop down up top, and the drop down allows you to choose iGo, Vibe Driver, or Vibe Rider. So you got to choose what type of Boomerang this is, and the Boomerangs are smart. Where's my other slide? My smart Boomerang slide. There we go. The Boomerangs are smart. So when a person gets the Boomerang, they go to igoboom.com. They put in your code that you sent them, and the code will take them to the appropriate landing page. If you gave them an iGo code, it's going to take them to the travel landing page. If you gave them a driver code, it's going to take them to the driver landing page, confirm their information, and encourage them to download the app and go ahead and enroll. If you give them the rider code, they're going to go to the rider landing page. It's going to confirm their information, and it's going to encourage them to go ahead and download the app. But here's what's cool. Once they download the app, their information is already there. They're already connected to you. Okay? Now, another question. Group codes. Group codes. So Some of you, those of you who've been around for a while know that we have group codes for IGO, for travel. Do group codes work for Vibe? No, they do not, okay? So they shouldn't even appear. If they do appear by virtue of some glitch, don't try to use them. They won't work, okay? Group codes are only for travel, all right? Now, someone is asking this question. If I'm in Ohio, should I only be sending these to Florida, okay? So here's the thing. If you're in Ohio, if you're not in Florida, you should only be enrolling drivers who are in Florida. You should only be recruiting riders who are in Florida. Now, what you can do is you can collect interest in your state, right? We have a place where people can say, I'm interested. And that is the Drive for Vibe Rides. Is it Drive for Vibe Rides or
Drive4viberides.com.
Drive4viberides.com is a place where a driver, let's say in Ohio, can go put in their information and your TSA number, and all that's saying is I'm interested. Now, what's cool about that is it's building a database. It's building a database of interested drivers connected to ambassadors. And when we start to look beyond Florida and Texas to where we're going to go next, one of the things that we can do is we can go and look at that and see where do we have a number of interested drivers, okay? But that's all you should be doing at this point. You really should be focusing on your Iboomerang business like people in other countries who don't have Vibe Rides to work with. Because here's what will happen. If you know, one thing that people do sometimes, Mark, is they'll swing the pendulum.
Yep.
Right? So everybody was all excited about getting travel customers, but then we lost Vibe Rides, and now that's all anybody is excited about. Well, what'll happen is you'll watch your Iboomerang business, the business that got you to the dance, fade, right? The people who are winning with Vibe Rides are the people who've built a huge Iboomerang business. So what do you want to do? Keep building a huge Iboomerang business. That's your customer acquisition organization. That's your sales force. That's your team. The people who have the most customer getters have the most customers.
That's right.
Does that make sense, everybody? I want somebody to put that in the chat. The people who have the most customer getters have the most customers. All right? Let's see it.
Yep.
I'm gonna see that in the Zoom. I'm gonna see it in the Facebook. I'll say it again. The people who have the most customer getters will have the most customers. That's why you want to continue to focus on your Iboomerang business, and you don't want to take your focus off of it.
That's right.
Okay? The people who have the most customer getters will have the most customers. That's why the people who built the biggest Iboomerang organizations are winning right now in Florida, because some of their people are in Florida. So if you are in Texas, what should you be doing? Making your Iboomerang team bigger.
Yep. Getting customers.
Getting customers, building
getting
more ambassadors, because that's going to give you more reach
That's right.
to when we start Texas.
Yep.
Okay?
Yeah,
All right.
and one of the things I just want to add to this is so again, build your Iboomerang business if you're not in Florida. And if you're in Florida, build your Iboomerang business too. Keep doing good parties. Keep getting people in Iboomerang, okay? But secondarily, those folks that do have the biggest Iboomerang businesses, ambassadors and customers, they're going to have the biggest reach when Vibe Rides comes to your state. So again, build it big now with Iboomerang. Don't take your focus off of that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And here's the other thing too. We're going to be able to support you with marketing. Okay. Again, the PRIB will do the marketing for you. So let the PRIB do what the PRIB needs to do. You don't need to do that. Again, just focus on building the Iboomerang business big. Big.
Big. Big. Build it big. B-I-B. Build it big. All right. Just got a note from our CEO.
Oh.
And this is an incredible note. And you know, we did such an amazing job with that event. That cruise was just so phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're gonna show you the recap video in just a little bit. But it wasn't just impressive to us and all of our ambassadors. It was impressive to the owners of the yacht. They sent a note to Holton that said, thanks for your call. Congratulations on an outstanding event on the ship. I've seen many events held on the ship during the last 10 years. I want to tell you that yours was absolutely one of the very best. Brian Green, our event organizer, did an outstanding job, as well as your decorators and planners. I have great personal admiration for your business model and would like to know more about it in the future. Please let me know when you're in Miami and let's have a good dinner together.
The owner of the yacht, a $40 million yacht.
That's what I'm talking about.
He wants to know more about the business.
Boom, right? So I'm telling you guys right now, Boomerang's a special thing.
Yeah.
Don't take your eyes off the ball.
Before we move on, though,
Yes,
I want
sir.
to say this. Hats off to Mrs. Earlene Buggs.
Yes.
That yacht was beautiful. And again, I walked in and I heard him talking. I heard the owner of the yacht was there, and he said, nobody's ever done it like this.
Nobody's ever tricked it out.
Ever.
Like DJ Khaled threw a whole party on the boat and they didn't check it out like we did.
No.
Right?
So again, Earlene does
DJ
everything.
Khaled. Sorry.
Stop that. Earlene Buggs goes above and beyond in everything she does. And again, I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. It was gorgeous.
Yes, and hats off to her team, Venus and Keisha, who they paid attention to so many details. Like even the elevators had Ibüümerang. The elevators were wrapped with Ibüümerang logos in a great Gatsby era style. I mean, it was just, I mean, the floors had wraps. I mean, it was just bananas.
Do you know that they replaced all the furniture in that yacht with their own?
Man. Oh my goodness.
It's craziness.
That's bananas.
That was awesome. Yeah.
All right. So back to Vibe Rides training. You guys ready? Okay. We got excited. We got off on tangent. Woo, swirl. All right. So if you're going to drive, what kind of vehicle do you need to have? Okay. Well, it has to be a 4-door vehicle. Has to be in good condition. That's why you got to send pictures. It can't have dents. Can't have stains. Can't be stinky. Even though I don't know how we're going to tell that from a picture. Right. Maybe you can send us a scratch and sniff picture.
No.
But you can't have more than 8 seats, right? So we don't want like big giant 15-passenger vans. You can't have more than 8 seats, including the driver. Subcompact cars are not allowed, the little tiny ones.
Yeah.
Right?
Smart cars.
Little smart cars, no. And no taxi cabs or limos. And somebody had asked me that, and I told them I would research that and get back to them. And sorry that I have to come back and tell you guys, no taxi cabs or limos. So people who work for a taxi cab company cannot use their cab to do Vibe rides. Okay? All right. What?
Patrick, no monster trucks?
Monster trucks, maybe, but then you'd have to get out and give the passengers a boost so they can get in there. Like your passengers trying to climb up in your monster truck. Maybe no monster trucks. No monster trucks.
No,
all right. Okay.
No monster trucks.
All right. We did that part already. And then back to Boomerang. Sorry, these are a little bit out of order, guys. The Vibe rides Boomerangs are currently unlimited, right? So they don't subtract from your total Boomerangs. Okay. All right. And so this is how that process works. You're going to come to iGoBoom. This is what iGoBoom looks like now. This is where they plug in the code. Okay. And based on the code, so let's suppose they plug in a driver code, they're going to go to this page. This is the driver page. And their information is actually going to already be in there because we now require you to plug in all of the information. Name, phone number, email. Okay. Somebody was complaining about that, but I want to tell you guys, that's for your protection. We are now into Overdrive on trying to make sure that your customers stay connected to you. So it's really important that you give us their information because we're going to use those 3 points of data to match them to the current database, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. And also to make things easy and fast for the driver and for the customer so that when they download the app, as soon as they start putting their information, they'll see, some of my setup is already done. Okay, so let's make sure that we do that. And then of course we encourage them to download the app, and we're already giving them a username and a password because we've already set up their account. All right, so this is why we need all of that info, everybody, to get people set up.
Yep. And one thing we did not mention, but might be mentioning, but I'll hit it now, is every ride will nourish a child.
That's right.
Every ride will nourish
You know
a
what?
child.
We need to add that to the other slide with the 5 ways.
Already did. Yeah.
Boom! That's what I'm talking about.
Already did.
Isn't he a beast? Let's give it up for Mark Kidcart. That's what I'm talking about. Let's give him a round of applause. That's what it. Okay.
Moving on.
Moving right along. Okie dokie. So to to be a driver, so let's talk about just driving, right? Some people don't want to do recruiting. They don't want to have anything to do with, you know, the multi-level marketing part of it. They just want to drive and make money. Cool, no problem. If that's what you want to do, there is no fee to enroll, okay? You just have to pay for your background check, which if you're in Florida is approximately $30. By the way, the price of a background check will vary based on the state, okay? So this is why it's very important that we're only recruiting drivers in Florida who have a Florida driver's license, okay? And you have to pay for your vehicle inspection, which can be approximately $30. I mean, I've seen it for 20, I've seen it for 25, I've seen it for 30. We are building a list. We are building a preferred locations list. And as soon as it's done, we will publish that. And if you're a driver, you're going to get an e-wallet, which with iPayout that we currently use, which works really well. Yes. And they will have next day access to their money. Okay. So I'm answering several questions on that one thing. Okay. All right, let's go. Moving on. Now, the next level up is Overdrive. Overdrive says, I want to be an entrepreneur with this, right? The Overdrive package is designed for people who want to drive and recruit. And I'm going to tell you, if you're an Iboomerang, what you need to do if you want to capitalize on this opportunity in a second. So stay tuned. All right. So Overdrive basically says that a person who's driving can now build their fleet by recruiting drivers. They can build their rider base by recruiting riders and get paid when those drivers drive and when those riders ride. They need to sign up in two places. The first thing they need to do is sign up as a driver, and they do that in the app. Okay, you guys hear me on that one? They do that in the app, and the app is available in the Google Play Store. The app is available in the Apple Store. The second thing they need to do is sign up for the Overdrive program, which is operated by Iboomerang, and they go to vibeoverdrive.com. Vibeoverdrive.com, which is a special Iboomerang enrollment page just for the Overdrive package. Okay, all right. So there you go for the Overdrive program, right? And Overdrive, it's $49.95 for their enrollment kit and $200 for their Overdrive pack, okay? And $99.95 a month subscription fee for their business. They get their background check for free. We're gonna reimburse them. They gotta pay for it up front. We're gonna give them the money back. They get a vehicle inspection for free. Again, reimbursed, pay for it up front. You'll get the money back. They get to earn when they drive. It says 100 Boomerangs, but remember it's unlimited right now. They get their back office to manage their business, their fleet. And that pack has 100 CV associated with it that goes into the dual team, okay? Now, as far as the monthly subscription is concerned, it's $99.95 a month, but once an Overdrive ambassador, and this applies to Overdrive ambassadors only. That's one of the questions I'm getting. Mm-hmm. If I'm a coach, business class or first, and I recruit 3 drivers, does mine go down to $49.95? No, but if you're an Overdrive, yes, it does, okay? And that's because there's different economics associated with the Overdrive package, okay? So I want to challenge you guys to be business people and understand that the economics are different for Overdrive, and that's why we can do that for the Overdrive ambassadors, okay? All right, cool. Now, what if you are an existing Iboomerang ambassador and you want to drive? Great, fantastic. Sign up as a driver using the app, okay? You'll need to pay for your background check. You need to pay for your vehicle inspection. And once you get through the process, you'll be able to drive and earn as a driver, okay? What if you are an existing Iboomerang ambassador and you want to overdrive? Well, you don't need to do anything different. You're already in Iboomerang, okay? If you're at standby, you can recruit drivers and riders. And you'll earn the direct bonus, but you will not earn the override commission, okay? If you are already a coach at business class or at first class, you can recruit drivers, you can recruit riders. You will not only get the direct bonus, but you will also get the override commissions. And all these drivers, any driver ambassadors, the ones who choose Overdrive will show up in your tree. They'll show up in your binary, okay? So just want to make sure that everybody is super clear on that. A lot of folks at Boomerang were wondering, what do they need to do? You don't need to do anything. You don't need to sign up for Overdrive, but if you want to drive, you do need to sign up as a driver.
So everybody's been asking all these questions way ahead of when you're answering them. So he's answering your questions.
Yep. No, we said we were going to answer questions, so kind of hang on, folks. Yeah. So, and then, just a quick little training on how to learn. One quick little training on how to learn. Instead of asking all these questions as we're going, which means that as you're typing and as you're dialoguing now back and forth, and as people are answering your questions possibly incorrectly, just pay attention. Yeah. Right? And let us get to the end. And if we don't answer your question, then you can submit your questions and then we'll answer it at some other time.
That's right.
Okay.
And the other thing too is we've got people kind of going in and out, and they're asking questions that have already been answered. So what we encourage you to do is this will be up on YouTube later today, and it'll be on Facebook. So right after we finish, it processes and then it gets posted onto Facebook automatically, and you can go back and you can rewatch it.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, I encourage everybody to go back and rewatch it. And if somebody on your team has a question, encourage them to go watch Flight School.
There you go. Absolutely. Somebody said, we just can't contain the excitement. I know.
We get it.
We love you. We're not trying to throw cold water on it.
No.
But we do want to make sure you get the right answers.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right.
So just paga atención, por favor. All right.
What'd you say?
Pay attention, please.
Okay.
Yes. All right. We love you guys too. We love you. Love you lots. Love you. Love. All right. Okay. Here we go. Vibe Overdrive ambassadors get a back office. It is an Ibüümerang back office. It's slightly modified. It does not have iGo because they don't get an iGo account. They don't have iGo Boomerangs in their widget because they don't have an iGo account. And they don't have iDecide for now. We are going to give them iDecide once we create the Vibe presentation, the Vibe iDecide presentation, which we're working on. Okay, so that is in the works. And somebody asked, will that be in English? Will it be in Spanish? The answer is yes. Oh, and by the way, someone's asking about QR codes. QR codes are super exciting. And we are going to be going heavy on QR codes. Okay, we need to develop that program fully. There's some technology that needs to be fine-tuned before we can start giving everyone QR codes. Also, the use of QR codes impacts the rules of the way Boomerangs work. And so we need to tweak that as well. So give us a little bit and we will get those QR codes rocking for you. But we want everybody to have to be able to have unique QR codes that they can use to get travel customers, drivers, and riders. That's the way of the future, and we're going to make that happen for you. Okay, so the answer to that question is hang tight, stay tuned. It's coming, and use your Boomerang codes for now. All right. All right. Somebody asked about upgrading. So obviously, if a Vibe Overdrive ambassador does not have iGo, once they find out and they really realize all the goodness, they're going to want it. And so we're going to make a way, doesn't exist right now, but we are going to make a way for them to upgrade to coach, business, or first class so that they can have the full Ibüümerang opportunity. And truth be told, I would recommend if a person can grasp it, that's really the way that they should go. They should be doing coach, business class, or first so that they can have the full Ibüümerang opportunity. But for those that say, no, I don't want to hear about that travel stuff. I don't really want to be that thing. I just want to drive. I want to recruit drivers. That's exciting to me. Okay, let them do Overdrive. And then when they understand the rest of the opportunity, we'll make a way for them to transition, okay? All right, we created a customer service for Vibe. It's a separate customer service. It's available 24/7. They're there to handle driver issues related to Vibe. They are there to handle rider issues related to Vibe. So we have 2 emails for that, support@viberides.com and driver support@viberides.com. And we have telephone support for Vibe. We just haven't put the number up yet because we know you guys can start calling it. So once we get these drivers through the enrollment process and we start to have drivers, we'll actually put that number up to be used for Vibe questions only. And I promise you, if you call this number with Iboomerang questions, you're going to be sorely disappointed because they can't answer them. All right. So make sure you tell your teams, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't clog up the line with Iboomerang questions. It's not going to work. All right. Another question people have.
Yep.
What about my existing Iboomerang customers? Here's what we're doing. We are in the process of going through that database of over 300,000 customers, identifying the ones that are in Florida, and the Iboomerang Prib will cross-promote Vibe Rides to those customers on your behalf. So you do not have to do anything to make your existing Boomerang customers aware of Vibe Rides. Now, if you have a relationship with them, you certainly can. We're not stopping you, right? You certainly can if you want to. But otherwise, the Prib is going to go to work for you, okay? All right. What should I do if I'm not in Florida? Focus on Iboomerang. As a matter of fact, if you are in Florida, you should still focus on Iboomerang. What I want everyone to learn is addition, not subtraction, right? So if you're in Florida, what you don't want to do is say, okay, Iboomerang, okay, now Vibe, right, and push Iboomerang to the side. What you want to be doing is Iboomerang and adding Vibe to it. Yeah. If you are outside of Florida, you should be really focused on expanding your Iboomerang team. See, here's what Vibe Rides should mean to you outside of Florida. Oh my goodness, this thing is getting bigger. Vibe Rides and other opportunities are gonna come to where I am, whether you're in the United States, in different cities and states, whether you're in different countries. We're gonna be bringing, even if you're in different countries, we're gonna bring something to your country. And it might be something in your country that we don't do in the United States because it's just for you. But as we start to add things, the people with the biggest businesses are going to be the ones who win the most. The ones with the most customer getters are going to be the ones with the most customers. And when the Prib starts going to work and saying, hey, customers, we have this now, the people with the most customers are going to be the ones who have the biggest victories. So you want to focus. You want to keep it in context. You don't want to get sidetracked. You don't want to swing the pendulum. You want to make sure that you keep the main thing, and focus on Iboomerang.